Hi class. So this video is on assignment 5.1, the mechanical project. And so this is going to be a multi-sheet set. And on the first page, I have three components that are assembled into an assembly drawing. So I have a V block, a U clamp, and a pin. And this would be used for if you have like a cylindrical piece that you need to have pinned down so you can work on it and it won't move. You'd put that cylindrical piece in here and then you would have the screw go down and keep that cylindrical piece in place. And then the second page has those components exploded into an exploded view. And there is a bill of materials or a BOM here as well. And then this is one of the components. This is the V block, the U clamp, and the adjusting screw. So we're not going to draw the screw lines here. We're just going to represent it like so because this would be a purchase piece. Okay. And so if you continue to go through here, there are written instructions, but I'm going to go through these with you right now. So I took some screenshots and I pasted it into my drawing, and I'm using my template file. So it is this one right here, Manufacturing Metric B. And I just double clicked into this. It opened up my drawing. And if I go here, I can see there's already a title block with a viewport. And this title block is made on an 17 by 11-inch piece of paper. And it says metric because the units that we are going to be using today is metric. So we are in millimeters. There's also some added layers here. We have the 3D layer. There is a block here for the tolerance check print. And we have some added dimension styles and text styles. Okay, but we are going to be using the annotated text and dimensions today. So I'm going to start by drawing my first component. I'll draw the V block and I'll start with the front view. And so if you look at this here, there are some dimensions with tolerances, and you don't have to worry about the tolerances for now. So I'm just going to draw this to 24 millimeters. And then this one, for example, it will be drawn to 12. So I'll start over here on this side. This is 24. It goes in 6 units, down 12, back over 6, and down 24, 10, and then there's a 50-degree angle here. So I'm going to do my angle sign, and it's at 50 degrees. So if I put in 50 degrees, that's going to, let me turn this off. That's going to make my line go this way. So I have to do, let's see, 90 plus 50, or maybe it is going to be 180. Yeah, it'll be 180 minus 50. So that will be 130 degrees. So I'll do 130 degrees. So if I were to go all the way on this side, this is 180, and I need it to be 50 degrees from this horizontal line. So that's why it's 180 minus 30. So, or minus 50. So 130 degrees. Okay, so now that's restricting my cursor in this direction. And I guess we could have also done negative 50 degrees now that I'm looking at it. And it's supposed to go up to 20 units in vertical length. And so I'm just going to draw it to some length, and then I'll create a line that is 20 units up. So I'll go here, and I'll do PL for polyline so I can easily erase it. I didn't have ortho mode. I'm pretty sure that was perfectly straight because I think I saw the tracking vector, but I'm just going to double check. So 20, and then I'm going to go over some distance, that's fine. And so now this line is going to end here. And the overall size is 60. So I'm going to create one more construction line. I'll go down here, and then I'm going to do 60. And I'm going to go up. So this here and this here, those are both construction lines. I guess I could bring this one actually to the B level there. All right, and so I have this here, and it's gonna mirror to the other side. So let me trim this, and I'm going to mirror this about the midpoint of that 60 length line. And no, I don't want to erase the source object. And I'm going to create a line in between. It goes right here. Okay. And yeah, I don't need this anymore, so I'll delete that. And I don't need this one anymore. And I'll go ahead and mirror it so that way I can, first I'll explode it. So that way I can make the top portion. So it's these components here. And then I will join all of that together. And then now I'm going to make this top view. I'm just going to move that down a little bit. And I'll go ahead and make the right side view as well. And so I can just create some construction lines. And I'll copy these over to each edge. And that will make it really easy for me to create my top view. So, and let me move these to the construction layer. And the overall height is, or I should say the depth is 100. And that's going into my bottom drawing. That's okay. I'll go ahead and move it after. And I'm going to turn on intersection and perpendicular. And then go up 100. Okay. And I'm going to move that up. There we go. And then I'm going to just create some lines on top of these edge lines right here. I'll copy that over. And I also have a couple of hidden lines from this side here, and I'm going to add those as well. And just move that here, and then I can even just take this line and bring it up. I'll trim these, and then this one I'm going to move to the hidden layer. And I will go ahead and draw this one. Let's see here. It is, the depth is 100, and then it goes up 60. And of course it matches and is aligned with the other view. Okay, and so the only edge views in this one are right here. And I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to select here and here like that. So those are the only edge views, and then I have a couple more hidden lines right here. Okay, and I'll change this to the hidden layer, and I'm going to worry about dimensioning and scaling these lines after. So I'm going to join this. I don't remember if I did that already. All right, so now I'm going to move on and do this U clamp. Okay, and so the height for this one is 36. And there is a small little fillet there. Don't know exactly the size, but I'll go ahead and just draw the overall width for now. So it's 80. And then it's going to go down again, 36. So I'm just drawing the outside box essentially for now. And the height overall is also 80. And I'm going to create the top. So this is 24. I'll move this over here. And let's see. So this one here is going to be, let me add another line. So this is 48. This is also a construction line. And the construction line is a little bit difficult to see. I can change the color of that if I want to. So I can make it, and I'll make it blue. Okay, so those are my construction lines. They're the blue ones now. So the overall is 80, this is 48, and so I will start here. I'm going to go up 12 units, in 6 units, and up 24. And then right there. Let me explode this, and I'm going to put this on the construction layer as well. Okay, so I just drew this portion, and I'll mirror that to the other side. And I have a circle here, or an arc, I should say, with a radius of 24, starting from here. So 24, and then another one with a radius of 36. And then I have a little note that says 4 times, and then it has a fillet. So 4 times a certain radius. I need to construct. So I'll go ahead and do this portion here, and then I'll add the fillets thereafter. Okay, I'm going to trim these. And I'll join all this, and then my radius is 4. Let me repeat that, and I'm going to do multiple. The radius is still the same. Okay. And that looks pretty good. All right, I went ahead and joined that, and then I'm going to create the top and right side views. This was 80 units, and it is by 20. And once again, I'm going to create some construction lines as a guide for the lines that I'm going to have for the edge views. So I'll do the copy command. And this is going to create a little edge as well for each of those radiuses. So I'll do these ones first. I'm just going to copy this. And then there's going to be a hidden edge right here as well. 2 of them actually. I'm just trying to snap there, so I'm just going to go beyond and I'll trim it. So this is hidden. I'm going to just copy it over like this. Okay. And then I have my circle on the top. I know the diameter. And that's 12. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can delete my construction lines, and then I'm going to create my right side view. I have a couple edges here as well. And so, of course, multiple ways to do this. I'm doing it a bunch of different ways. I'm creating construction lines, or I'm just hovering over my points of interest. There's an endpoint. Let me go find that again. Actually, this one is, there we go. I want right there. So I'm going to put that across. Then I'll just trim both sides. There we go. And I just have to add a couple of hidden lines now. So I added those two already, but I have one here as well. And I'm going to put this on the hidden layer. And I'll copy these. And I'm going to put them over here. There we go. All right, so I just joined everything together. And that looks pretty good for that view. Oh, I'm missing actually another hidden line. That one's fine, but I'm missing this one. And then lastly is the adjusting screw. So this one's fairly simple. I can start with my top view. This is 24. Just want to double check to make sure it's actually 24 and not, okay, it is, and not 12. So this is 12 units. The overall is 100. I'm just going to make this my construction line. There we go. And then I'm going to hover over this quadrant, go down and hover over this. Okay. All right. That's a closed object, and that is a good sign. So and if I didn't want to go beyond and trim it, I can always choose nearest on my object snaps as well. And then actually this other view is just a copy of this. So I'm just going to stick that over there, and then I'm going to put in this little circle. So that's 5 units. And I'll put that on the hidden layer. Okay, so now I have everything drawn. I'll go ahead and save this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and annotate this using the annotative dim style here. And I'm going to start dimensioning my drawing. So I'll change to the dimension layer. And I'm just going to make it look similar to that in the assignment. And I'm just going to dimension these right now using the annotative one, and then I'm going to switch the dimension style after, just to save myself a little bit of time. And then from here to this line. I'll go ahead and put that in there too. Okay, and so now I have this right here needs to get changed to the mechanical X lower tolerance. And this one needs to go to the upper. And this one to the upper as well. And I know that because it has the plus 0.2. So that means it's going to be the upper tolerance because this is the higher end. And so it actually, yeah, let me pull this out so that way that arrow isn't interfering. Okay, and so if I look back at my drawing, my assembly drawing, this one here, for example, this has a length of, I believe it was 24. And yeah, and it's saying it can be either 24 millimeters or zero point 0.2 less than 24, so 23.8 millimeters. It can't be any larger because if it was too large, and then let's say this part here for the clamp was too small, then they're not going to fit together. So this one needs to have a lower tolerance, and then this one here needs to have only an upper tolerance. So this one can't get any smaller, but it can be slightly larger. Okay, and so everything's going to have a tolerance. We're going to specify that in our title block, but there's certain things that need to be restricted to tighter tolerances, and that is because of how they fit together. And so here, for example, another one. So this has an upper tolerance of zero point 0.2. And if I go, so let me see where it was. So it's this little groove. So it's zero point 0.2 in here and also this way. So if I go back, that is because it can be slightly larger. This is going to fit into it. But if it was slightly smaller, then this might not fit into it, right? So if this was made to the exact size and this was a little bit smaller, then this wouldn't fit into it. But if it was a little bit larger, that little notch still would. So right here, this little notch. Okay, and so everything does have a tolerance. It's specified in the title block, but these components have a different set of tolerances and they are more specific and they are tighter because of how these components fit together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dimension this one now, and I'll just dimension it the same way where I'm going to do the whole thing and I'll just move over what I need to after for the different types. And I'm in my dim command, and that's making it nice and easy to dimension this. I'll go ahead and choose specifically the diameter, and I'm going to do the radius. I'll just spacebar to repeat that. And I just need to edit this one slightly to say 4 times that. There we go. And so this one I need to move to these ones I need to move to the lower tolerance. And this one I need to move to the upper tolerance. And let me make sure these are aligned as well. Okay. And lastly, I have my screw. All right, this looks pretty good. Okay, I'm just gonna double check to see that I have everything dimensioned correctly. All right, so let me go ahead and save this. And now I want to create my 3D views. So I'm going to change to the 3D layer and I'm going to copy each of the front views. So this one, and this one. So I'm going to copy these down to another area of my drawing space. So right here is fine. And then I'm going to I'm going to hold down Shift and then rotate it so I could skew my view a little bit. Okay. So this is my flat drawings. I shifted my view as I can see here. And then now I'm going to change from drafting and annotation to 3D modeling. And I can delete that. And then for these two, I'm just going to use the press pull command. So I'm going to highlight that one and then under extrude. So I can either do extrude or I could do press pull. Either is fine. So I'll go ahead and do press pull. I'll select this and then it's going to go up in this. I'm going to bring it up out of the page and I'm going to bring it up. It was 100 units, so 100. And I'm also going to change my view to realistic or shades of gray so that way it's a little bit easier to see it. And I'll do the same thing for this. And extrude also works. So if I do extrude and I go this way, I'll specify the height. It was 20 for the depth. And there is my U clamp. And then for the adjusting screw, I want to go ahead and divide this in half, which actually, let me go back to drafting and annotation to do this. So I'm back in drafting and annotation, I could tell by my ribbon. And I'm going to break this in half. So, and if this is hard for you to draw, you can just adjust your view here or up here. If you don't see this view cube, you can go to View tab and you can turn that on if you would like it on. Okay, and so I'll do trim and I'm going to trim right here and I'm also going to get rid of the hole actually because I'm going to put that hole in after. And I'll put this on the construction layer. Or I can also delete this altogether. It doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. And then I'm going to go back to 3D modeling and then now I can revolve this piece. Okay, I'm back in 3D modeling. I'm going to grab this and go up here to revolve. I'm going to choose 2 points, this end point here and this one here. And then I want to do 360, so it revolves completely around. And I just want to delete this line. You don't have to, but I like to. And then one more right here. Okay. And so here I have to create a hole, and I need to create it in the top of this one too. But first I'm going to go ahead and rotate these. So I will rotate it. Ortho mode's on. There we go. So that way it's like sitting on my piece of paper. Let me try that again. Gonna grab the red hoop. There we go. And then I'll rotate this one as well. Grab the red hoop. Oops, I grabbed the blue hoop, so let me try again. The red hoop. And escape. There we go. And so here I need to draw a circle on the top so that way I can create my hole. So I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to hover over this midpoint here and then over this one here. There we go. And you can also create construction lines if you're having trouble with that. And then this circle is going to be, the radius was, oh, the diameter was 12. So I can say diameter 12. Okay, and then I'm going to select this and I'll go ahead and press pull this as well. It's going to grab this. Oops, not that one. I want to grab the circle. Just a circle. Press pull. And I'm going to go down through my drawing. And that subtracted it. If when you do that command, it creates a solid object, then you would subtract it from there using the subtract command. So go ahead and read about that in the workbook. Let's see over here. We're going to do something similar for the screw. So I'm going to go to the front view and I need to make a little circle that is a diameter of 5. And so that was in the middle of this. Let's see if I can get it. I'm not seeing it, so I'm going to create a construction line. And I'll do line command. I can't see that, but hopefully I can snap to it. Yeah, so there's the midpoint of that line I created. So I can't see it because it's somewhere beyond that circle. And I wonder if this is the correct orientation that it's making it at. And so it's trying to make it in this view. So let me go back to the front. And I believe I can specify right here. I want to draw on the front view. So go back to my circle right here at the midpoint. Now I'm creating a circle on this front plane. And the diameter of that circle is 5. And I can't see it anymore because it's somewhere behind this screw, or maybe within this screw. So I'm going to highlight my screw, and then I'm going to deselect it. And I should have, see, I have that circle in there. Do press pull. Okay, so it's within there. I can't quite see it. Let me try that again. So I'm going to highlight everything, deselect the actual screw, and then go through the center. And then I'm going to move this piece out. Okay, so see there's like this coordinate system thing here, the CCS looking thing. I went ahead and grabbed the green arrow so that way I can move my circle out of there and I can actually select this. Okay, so now that I have this and I have this line, I can delete that line now. I can do press pull. I'll select this object. I'm going to drag it through my pin. So now for this one, I will do the subtract command. So I'm going to type subtract, and then I need to select the select object. So I need to select this one first. I'm going to do enter, and then I'm going to select this bar, and then that subtracted the bar the from the top piece like that. And I can delete this circle now. Okay, so now I have my 3 component pieces. They look good. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'm going to now move these so that way they are going to be in like an assembled component view. So let me highlight this. I'm going to do, actually I'll do the pin first inside there. So I'll do M for move. Select objects, space, and then I need to select a base point, and I want to select a point that I can snap to, such as this quadrant. And I want something that's going to be touching the other component. So I'll say this quadrant is now going to touch this quadrant here. So let me turn off ortho mode. There we go. And now I can, similar to before, I can take this arrow and I can just put it down into this clamp. So I can choose any distance. I'll say, I don't know, maybe 40. And now I will take this and I'm going to do M for move, and I'm going to select this corner because this corner can touch this corner right here. Okay, and then I'll do M for move and then P for previous and then enter. And then now I'm going to move it in this direction. I'm just going to choose some distance. Maybe I'll say, just trying to see what it's saying the distance is. I'll say 50. Actually, I'll do M previous, and then I'm going to bring it forward 10. So as if I moved it 40. That looks a little bit better to me. Okay, so now I have my assembled components, and I'm going to copy this. CO to copy. and choose some area, and I'm going to bring it over somewhere else in the drawing space. I could bring it over here because I don't want anything in the background for my viewport, and I'm going to explode these. So let me go to my exploded view just to see kind of how it looks. So the V block is in the back, and then these two are pulled forward, and then the screw is pulled up from the clamp. So I'm going to take these two components and I will move them forward. And I'll move them forward like I can just choose a spot, or I can enter a distance. I want to do more than that, so I'll say maybe 50 more. That looks okay. If I go to SW isometric, that will give me an isometric view. Oops, I could delete this. That's just an extra circle. Okay, and then I'll take this screw and I'm going to bring that one up. So I said up 100. Okay, so now I have my exploded view, my assembled view, and then my components. And I will go back to drafting and annotation. I'll close this out. I'm going to go back to the top view. It's all skewed and weird looking right now, so there we go. Back to the top view. And if you notice, I'm not seeing my dimensions anymore right now. I'm going to save it really quick before I try doing too much. And then if I regen, these should pop up. It might not. Let me go here and then come back here. I can regen again. It's not showing. They are there though, so don't freak out too much. My dimension layer, it's still on. The layer is not off. I could do regen all. And it's still not showing. When you go from 3D modeling and drafting and annotation, sometimes it will change the view of things. Like this screen might even turn a different color. I'm not really sure why, but that does sometimes happen. So don't freak out too much if and when that does happen. For now, let's go ahead and just focus on creating our layout sheets. So I'm going to create some copies of this. I'll say create a copy, and I want to do this for 5 sheets. Okay, so now I have 5 sheets, and I will name those sheets. I'm going to name this assembly. I'll name this exploded for the exploded view, and then this is going to be the V block. This one will be the U clamp. And this one will be the adjusting screw. Okay, and so I will, and I probably should have entered in or not probably, I should have entered in my title block information before creating all those copies, but I didn't. So I'm going to do that now. So this is the V block, my name. The scale is going to be 1 to 30. The sheet number, this will be 3, and it's out of 5 total sheets. And then the value is millimeters. Dimensions and tolerances are millimeters. And then the X, the tolerance for this one is 0.5. And then this one is going to be 0.50. And so, and then these ones will remain the same. Okay, and so this is saying the decimal places. So if it's XX, then it's 0.50. So there's 2 decimal places. X is 1 decimal place. And so the more decimal places, the more accurate it will be, but also the more expensive to manufacture. So you don't need it to be more precise than it needs to be. Okay, and then let's see, surface finish. We don't need to put anything for that. We don't have any revisions either, so we don't need to put anything for the revision table. So I'm just going to say okay. This is the revision table. So if you were to draw this out, send it to somebody, and they tell you to make revisions, then you would populate this table. Okay, and then I'm just going to, actually before I leave here, I will adjust my viewport. So looks pretty good. I'll lock it, and then I'm going to insert my tolerance check print block. Oop, it looks super tiny, and that's because I'm still in my viewport. So I'm going to actually put it directly on the page. So I double clicked outside of my viewport onto my piece of paper. So now I'm in my piece of paper like this, and I'm going to put the block directly onto the piece of paper. So now I'm here, and I'm going to, unfortunately, I have to manually put this all back in. So the title for this one is U-clamp. Okay, and then let me go ahead and put in my U-clamp. Double click into space over here, and I will insert my note. And this is 5 of 5. Oops. And let me change this to 1 to 30 again, because I accidentally moved it around. And that looks fine. I'll lock it, and I will insert my note. Let me exit that and exit this. Okay. All right, and so that's what this will look like in the end. I'll go ahead and close this. And now I need to create my exploded and assembly views. Okay, and so let me start with the assembly view actually. So I need to delete this viewport and I'm going to go to the layout tab and let me go right here to this arrow. I'll say single. And I'll do 3D for the setup, then SE isometric, and I'm going to change this to hidden. And I'll select 2 points for my viewport. And let me just double check the scale here. So this I have at 1 to 20. So I double clicked on my viewport and then I'm just going to find this and I'm going to change it to 1 to 20. And it was kind of cutting out, so I just made the viewport the whole area. Okay, and then let me change the layer of this viewport and then I'm going to lock it. So I'll name this V block and clamp assembly. Scale is 1 to 20 for this one, and this is the first sheet of 5. Okay, so that one looks good there, and I'm going to go to this view now, to the exploded. I'll delete this viewport, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'll say single, it's 3D, SE isometric, and then I'll change this to hidden. And then this one, I'll do 1 to 30 as well. And I'll lock it. Okay, and then I need to create my bill of materials and add my balloons. First, I'll edit my title block, so this will be the components. Okay, and two. So now I'm on my layout. I'm going to add some multi-liter, some bubbles or balloons, so that way I can populate my BOM with that information. So I'll go ahead and select somewhere over here. And this one will be component 1. And I'll put this on the text layer. Oops. I'm just going to move that over a little bit. This is component 3, and this one is 2. Okay, and then I'm going to change the layer of these. And if you want to see, let me go ahead and go to modify here really quick. If you go to content, so the type for the multi-leader is block instead of mtext, and then the circle, and that's how you create the balloons. Okay, and then you would have to, here we go, and then you would have to adjust the scale if you did it in model space. I did it in paper space, which normally you don't draw in paper space, but I'm just doing a couple of annotations, and this is for my BOM. And so I'm going to now create my BOM. So I need to do that with the table command. I just want to see something really quick. Okay. So table, and it was how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 4 rows. And I don't need a title. I could just do header and then data, data, like that. So I'm just going to place this off to the side for now. I'll do NO for number, for the balloon number. I'll do space, 1, 2, 3. And then I guess I did too many rows, so I could delete those. And then I'm going to put on caps lock description, V block, U clamp, and it is M12 by 1.75 adjusting screw. This is going to be material. SAE 1020, SAE 1020, and SAE 1112. And the quantity is 1, 1, 1, and then QTY for quantity. Okay. I'm going to remove these rows. So I'm going to right click and do delete rows. I want these ones to be centered. And if I highlight this column, I can adjust this so that way my adjusting screw doesn't have to be 2 lines. And these ones I want to have centered also. And I can either I can keep this centered or I can have it go to the right. I'll just match what I have, so I'll do top left and put this on the text layer. Then I'm going to move this over here and I'm going to go ahead and scale this table. So I'll do SC for scale. I'm going to choose 2 points. So first I'll specify the base point and then R for reference. And I'm going to choose, let's see, this point here and this one here. And I want this to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do P for points and I'm going to reference this revisions table. There we go. And so let me preview this page. All right, and so that looks pretty good. If you want it to be, so I need to make some adjustments to the display, but then also if you want this to be the same as that border, let's see what that looks like. So I changed it to border, but the text might be too bold, which actually it looks okay. So you could just keep it like this, or you can explode it and then you can put the outside on the border and then put the text on the text layer. So whatever you want to do. And there's just one more thing we need to do, and that's to change the display. I'm just looking for it in my document. Okay, so step 26. So I want to open the properties palette. And I'm going to select my viewport. And here where it says shade plot, I'm going to change it to legacy hidden. Okay, and I'm going to escape that. And I'm going to do the same thing for my assembly viewport. So click the viewport, change it to legacy hidden, escape. And then now I'm going to do the command DISPSILH. So like display legacy hidden. I'm going to do enter and then I'm going to change that to 1 and then enter. So now that is going to fix the display so that way when I preview this, these lines are solid lines. I'm going to look at it in the exploded view. And that looks much better. Okay, and so I can go and try to delete this line as well, which I'm going to do. But if you can't get rid of it, that's okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get rid of it. Let me see, because I couldn't see it when I was looking at my screw before. So this is kind of like that draw line. See, it's right here, but I can't select it. And did I accidentally move that over? I may have. Yeah, I think I did because it's different from this one. So let me undo this. There we go. Okay. Yes, I'm not going to delete that line. Not sure how to, but that's okay. So I can get rid of that. I'll save what I have so far. And the last thing I'm going to do is batch plot this. So print, batch plot, and I'll get rid of that, get rid of this, and I'm going to select my folder. Okay, and so this is going to go ahead and publish in the background. And I can delete these if I want to kind of reduce my file size. And there we go. Now I regenerated it and I can see my dimensions again. So sometimes it just takes a while to actually do the things that you want to, but don't fret, the dimensions were still there. You can always try to save it, close it, and reopen your file too. Okay, so now my plot publish job is complete and I can take a look at this. All right. So I would just go through this document and double check everything, but so far so good. My sheet numbers are correct. My drawing looks like it should, and there you have it, the mechanical project. Thank you guys.